something because I know.
Dandavat Gurudev. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I've got sound. So let us try not to wake up the whole of the West London ashram, and we'll try to share something with the assembled Vaishnavas. So first of all, let's just start with auspicious invocation. Let's see, a little bit of better light. Anyway, let's see. So auspicious invocations I'm beginning for us. So I'll be Vandeham Shri Guru Yudhaparikkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnanandana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvije Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All right. Paramananda Prabhu, Rupanuga Prabhu, Aparajita Devi Dasi, and Lila Moy Prabhu, Anutama, well, Lila Moy Prabhu, yes, Anutama Devi Dasi, Ganga Lila Didi, Priya Sundari. So here we are, happily together, and on Facebook, I'll see whether I can just turn on Facebook. Are we streaming to Facebook? Right. So, dear devotees, a big welcome, and I can pass the microphone to Paramananda Prabhu again to start us off. I think next time we speak on back to basics, we'll be in the night instead of in the very early morning, and we hope to be a little bit in the association of the Brazilians, because we're going to Brazil later today. All right, Paramananda Prabhu, a couple of seconds I gave you to think about some words for the devotees on the principle of back to basics.
Raj, I'm passing microphone to Sundar Prabhu here. Please. We just freshly attended morning program. Let's see what caught his ear and what caught his heart. And we are on the Ramananda-saṁvād chapter at the moment.
All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Priya Devi Rasi, Dandavat, the Thailand home of the devotees, Jetsi, Govinda Farm, beautiful. Yes, Sundar Prabhu.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat all the devotees. Well, right now we're heading towards the end of the conversation with Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. So I don't have much to say about that because it's very high and deep and beyond my understanding. But one thing about it that was that I guess can say something is that it was talking about how the gopis and Srimati Radharani, they feel 10 times like unlimited more joy when they engage other people to serve Krishna, and not that they're feeling more joy when they're like directly associating. So it's just something like a mood, like an angle of adjustment, like we always talk about it that we don't want to have that sort of mood, that we want direct association with Krishna and goes like straight to Krishna without like the agent or the guru or the Vaishnavas. You know, it's a almost scary idea to be anywhere in direct association of Krishna. Like Rāmānanda Das Goswami says in one sloka that without like the devotee, or you know, being in Krishna's association without connection to the devotee, Krishna is basically like the demon killer aspect. You know, like that's his aspect. He's a demon killer. So it's not, you know, not the whole charming playing on the flute, you know, dancing by the Jamuna and that sort of Leela. You know, if you're trying to directly associate with, you're gonna get the demon killer aspect. So
on the sweet type.
yeah. So that was something I was thinking about while you know, because Ramananda Rai is now quoting like all these very high verses from like Govinda Lilamrita and Rupa Goswami's books and stuff. So we're just at this point in the conversation, we're just bowing down and like Paramananda Prabhu said the other day, that we're praying for the proper angle of vision and proper understanding of what these things mean. So
well, that
Hare Krishna.
did reminded me about Srila Rupa Goswami describing Lalita Devi, and that's also her mood. She's literally next to Srimati Radharani. She's the most closest Sakhi in that group. And Rupa Goswami explains her main engagement is to move around and to detect, oh, this personality has some affection for my mistress. I would like to recruit that person and give that person a very valuable seva in that realm. So that is her happiness. And the more she recruits, the happier she is, because there's more seva. And there's no limits to that too. So that's the mood of the highest devotees, just like Sundar Prabhu just mentioned. You remember the verse?
mm.
He remembers many verses. He's made in Salt Lake City, Sweet Lake City, excuse me. He's got the stamp somewhere on his body. And it is a beauty, I mean, it is an amazing chapter. And through the whole chapter, Srila Ramananda Rai, he points out, Mahaprabhu is always mining. Yes, that what you're saying is right, but give me more, give me more, give me more. And Ramananda Rai is answering, he's saying that actually you are the one who is putting words into my mouth, and mysteriously you're also the one who is listening to the same words you yourself put in my mouth. There's nothing of mine, I'm telling you. Everything I received and now that is coming from me is being deposited by you into my heart. And he's just continuously talking about it. And since it's Mahaprabhu's will, and being a devotee means you fully surrender to the Lord's Lila, to the infinite expressions of his desires. You don't question it. You don't try to understand. You don't try to calculate, figure it out. And that's a perfect example of that kind of behavior. Ramananda Rai just goes along with the Lila. He is not questioning, why are you asking me? You know everything, so you tell me, I don't want to talk to you about it. No, he is acknowledging this is the fact coming from you and coming into you again through me. You want to pull the strings? You pull the strings. I'm going to be your puppet. And at some point, this is what he's saying. I'm your puppet. You're the string puller. I'm just dancing according to your sweet will. That also, there's this verse when Ramananda Rai is saying that, and that reminded us about how Srila Swami Maharaj traveled to United States. He was going to, not United States, actually. He was going to Mlechkadesh. This is, by the way, a Sanskrit name for United States, those who don't know. Mlechkadesh, that's how he addressed that country. So he was going there, and in the end of his poem, after he had a heart attack and so many difficulties came to him, he's advanced age, he composed the poem, and the end of the poem said, he's saying that, Krishna, I don't know why you brought me here, but you did so that means there's some plan. You have some plan. This is your desire. So make me dance, make me dance, make me dance, oh Lord, make me dance. That was his finale of his poem. And really that was so, it was resonating with that verse of Ramananda, right? But Mahaprabhu is asking him to say more. And yes, we're going through very high verses at the moment. Some of them by Srila Krsnadas Kaviraj. And you see how it is. They're talking about the same truth. They have access to that. So the words are coming from Ramananda Rai, but they are taking shape of Govinda Lilamrita, Ujjvala Nilamani by Srila Rupa Goswami, and some of the personal compositions of Ramananda Rai are there as well. But since they're talking about the same truth, it's very appropriate to use the same. So basically, Srila Krsnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that what Ramananda Rai is saying is what Rupa is saying, what Raghunath is saying. Everybody else is saying the same thing. They are of the same soil. There is no difference. And that wealth came to them by the grace of Mahaprabhu. Without his blessings, it's impossible. In a similar pastime, we witness how Rupa Goswami, observing ecstatic dance and singing of seemingly mundane poetry of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the Rath Yatra festival, he gets that realization, and then he cannot hold it. He writes it down. And then Mahaprabhu later discovers that verse, and with smile on his face, he's asking Sarupa Damodar, how is that possible? He knows. And no one knows, but he knows. And Sarupa Damodar Goswami is saying that if he knows that, that means only one thing. That means you giving him that. Because no one else could. Only by your grace it is happening. And then, of course, Srila Rupa Goswami has been presented for so-called examination in front of, again, Ramananda Rai, Sarabhama Bhattacharya, other dignitary Vaishnavas assembled in Jagannath Puri. They examined him. Actually, it wasn't an examination. One may think, oh, they're just examining. Okay, he checked in on all the majors. He is okay. No, it wasn't that. It was just a statement, expression of Mahaprabhu's will. And what they did not examine him, but they accepted Mahaprabhu's will. They accepted his grace. In return, they just entered that flow of Lila and gave whatever they had, whatever wealth had been deposited to them, to Rupa Goswami. And that's where all those wonderful compositions coming from. It's Mahaprabhu and his Parshats, words, entering the heart of Srila Rupa Goswami, and then ending up on the pages of his scriptures. And shouldn't forget Srila Jiva Goswami, who was instrumental into putting them together, let's just say, in the form of the manuscript or a book at that time. So anyhow, it's an amazing chapter. And we've been, by the grace of Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, we've been there, externally, the place where the whole Lila manifested on the banks of Godavari River in Kabur. We were actually thinking, oh, we'll just follow Guru Maharaj, because Guru Maharaj went there. And that was, I remember, that was our clear understanding. We're just following the footsteps of Guru Maharaj Seva pilgrimage, because he went there following the orders of Srila Saraswati Thakur to establish the Padatirthas, the places where Mahaprabhu performed his pastimes. They established these little shrines with Mahaprabhu's footprints installed there. So we wanted to be there. I wanted to bow down to that place and remember Srila Guru Maharaj's Lila and whatever he was saying, his teachings on that particular spot. And so we went there in a small group of the devotees, Keshavananda Prabhu and Abhinava Sundar Prabhu, and I think Priyananda, she went there too. So just four of us, and it was a wonderful experience.
And
yes,
Rupanuga Prabhu.
Oh, yes, not to forget Rupanuga, yes. And I had to say, Rupanuga is finally not driving anywhere. He's stationary. Anyhow, Maharaj, so here's Krishna Priya. Maybe she can say a couple of words. Which she doesn't like to talk. But.
Dandavad Maharaj, Dandavad all the devotees. I'm not a preacher type, Maharaj. I'm the doer type more. I be like a lower class. I feel like it's the most safe position for me. Just doing and just below. Whatever they're talking is so high. I cannot even represent how to talk about this. Just try to be humble and like lower like class. I feel like more like safe and always keep doing because I'm the type of the doer. I just try to serve and do seva. That is my mood, Maharaj. Like always happy to do that.
On this subject, Srila Govinda Maharaj once commented. He said that many can talk nicely, many can ring the bell, but very few can do something.
And on the last back to basics, then we read a short part from the new Gaudiya Darshan magazine that came from Devotees Prabhu for the 40th anniversary of the installation of the deities, saying about the devotees. All the devotees love to read Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, but are they getting the right message? Are they understanding it properly? And then he's saying that the way to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is through service. How to understand Chaitanya Caritamrita is through service. And we've seen so many times in Navadip, in the festivals, many Harikatha, many hours of Harikatha taking place during the festivals. But those who are really getting the credit from Gurudev are those who are in the kitchen, in the cleaning, in the organization, doing those things which are needed to be done. You can say in the background, but to make it all work. So service, service, service. This is very beautiful.
He was also saying a proper sign of a good hearing will manifest in his actions. If person is listening to something, but doing nothing, that means nothing is coming into his ears. I mean, entering one and exiting from another. But a person who is listening, hearing, and it takes the form of actions, like it takes the form of seva, that is a person who is engaged in proper hearing. That was also one of Govinda Maharaj's points that he was making. Otherwise, everybody is listening. I mean, okay, we can say, well, listening is a seva, so let me just listen 24/7. Wonderful, but what is the result of your listening? And Srila Guru Maharaj points out that famous verse, Tad Vidhi Pranipatana Pariprashna Sevaya. So he says that Pariprashna is present to some extent. The inquiry, sincere inquiry is there to some extent. It has the place in the whole process. But the main process is the service. Only through the service you can get that connection. Only through the service your initiation becomes valid. Like yesterday we touched the bases with Chaitanya Nitai, who offers Dandavats to you, Maharaj, and all the devotees. He was one of the regular attendees, Vrindavan Chaitanya Nitai. So we're talking about that subject, how important it is to confirm your reality. Whatever you're hearing must come to you as a confirmation in your heart through the service process. Otherwise, there is no other way. Anyhow,
and we are hearing in order that we can properly engage in seva. Because seva itself, doing things is one thing, but with what heart, this is another thing. So hearing to help our seva, to help our sadhana is to help our seva. Actually, since the last back to basics, was still during the festival in East London. It seems a long time ago because many things are happening on this side of the world. But just to mention about it, that the servitors that we've seen in London here, because as you all know, it's been the 40th anniversary of the installation of the deities. And really, the kitchens, both in East London, where 2 days of the festival were, and West London, where 1 day of the festival was, of the actual festival, the kitchens just full of servitors. And an expression I've not heard for a while, but one devotee said, "We are the kitchen religion." And then when we see, really, it is quite like that. And this is a difference from, renunciation also, that the devotees, they are making nice things for Krishna, and then the devotees, they're accepting those remnants. And so, as we say, Sharirara Vidyudam, and then this material world, it's tied us up in a net. But Krishna has given his own prasadam to control the most voracious of the senses, the tongue. And so, yes, lots of things have happened since we actually last spoke, even though it was only a few days ago. And service. And by the way, Sundar Prabhu, very good to hear from you, to have you opening our back to basics this week, along with Paramananda Prabhu and Krishna Priya Devi Rasi, because we've maybe, I don't know if we've stolen them or not, but we've had a lot of your Salt Lake City team over here in UK, and we've been also doing walk and talk, as well as programs, as well as everything else with them all. And yesterday with Sudarshan Prabhu and the family, three of the family, his wife and 2 of the children, who are no longer little children, they're all growing. Well, looking up, Janamajai is still 14, but he's quite tall and still growing. So we've been hearing live so many things that we've seen in the Facebook, etc., of the Bhagavad Gita classes and the programs that take place in Salt Lake City. And really, Salt Lake City is produced and producing so many devotees. Harini and Shara Shiromani and so many devotees have come also, and still flowing from there. And please also Shara Shiromani and Harini Didi, maybe she's not with us just now, but maybe in the recorded version, but Shara Shiromani is here. And we're remembering you all, and really the good devotional nature of the devotees coming from Salt Lake City. We're all happy to know. And we know there are challenges everywhere, but the sweetness of the devotees' hearts and knowing that we have to adjust to everything, this is the strength, you can say. We hear this all the time coming from there. And I've been answering Rai Kishori with some of her situations of life. I answered her probably rudely, but I said, well, Rai Kishori, you should listen to Rai Kishori to get the answer to this question. And then she's laughing because, adjusting to the environment in so many situations in the world. Because we have to say that's a stressed theme. We can say, Srila Gurudev, everyone will say, humility, tolerance, give honor to others. But when we hear from Salt Lake City, we'll hear that, no doubt, but we have to think the environment is friendly, every wave is friendly. We hear this echo of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev constantly. Hare Krishna. And okay, so since then, Monday, I can just continue just a little bit with some news from here, because on Monday, we had the feast, as all of you did, no doubt, in some way or another, small or big. We had the feast for the day after Nrsingadev's appearance and the day after the installation of the deity. And it was also Buddha Purnima, and I believe Srinivasacharya's disappearance or appearance day, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a special day, but we had that feast the day after Nrsinga Chaturdasi, And on that feast day, very beautifully, a big reminder, happy reminder of Navadip, in the sense that there was a very presentable and etiquette observed, nice Vaishnava etiquette observed representation from the two principal, the two really principal ISKCON centers here in London. One is the Soho Street Temple, which is right in the very center of town and which is very famous for daily doing Harinam Sankirtan down Oxford Street, which is, you could think of as maybe the most important street or the most famous street in London. And they're going on steadily. And the other place, the Watford Manor, given by George Harrison. And the president of the ISKCON temple in Soho Street came with 6 brahmacharis. And it was actually very sweet to have them come. And one of the gurus of the Watford temple, who we've known from our young days and serving together from our early days in Krishna consciousness, he came, and so we had a very good representation, and really reminded me of Navadip, how the temples would send representations from each temple to another temple which is having a particular day, like the Vyasa Puja day or the disappearance day, perhaps sometimes, of their gurus associated directly with the temple, like Madhava Maharaj's temple, Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj's temple, the ISKCON temple. Then our devotees are going there as representation in honor of their temple and their gurus. And in this way, very sweetly, they came. And I would also not only came as a formality or because, all brahmacharis know, if you get sent to another temple as a representation, you will also no doubt get Mahaprasad on feast day. So the brahmacharis are always happy to volunteer to represent. But they came, and under the instruction, no doubt, of the temple president, but they gave the brahmacharis from the Soho Street temple, they presented the East London temple, which is where the deities are, with a full set of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Srimad Bhagavatam full set, and a substantial donation, which I really thought was a wonderful gesture. And ISKCON is a little richer than we are, so they probably had a little sympathy for us for having such a a festival in our humble surroundings. So, but it was very sweet gesture. And then the Guru Kripamoy Prabhu from the Bhaktivedanta Mana, he came. We all took prasadam together, and we had plenty of opportunity to chat and to talk. And the temple president of the Soho Street temple was not born when I came to the Soho Street temple. And basically from there made that, like that was a tipping point that I need to join the temple and spend my time in this direction and not in my life outside. And so it was very happy to talk with them, and so everybody so well behaved and polite and a good example to us. But it was a reminder of Navadip, truly, for the etiquette of giving honor to others' temples. Nobody's going there, fishing in other people's ponds or anything else. It's simply the extended devotee family behaving as devotees should behave harmoniously. So the credit also goes to Devashish Prabhu and to the other devotees here for keeping good relations and with the devotees, the leading devotees, and all the devotees indeed of the other missions here in UK. Hare Krishna. Yes, so we've been surrounded with Salt Lake City devotees very happily. And I expect that Sri Lanka is back by now. She left. I expect she's back in Salt Lake City by now. And we hope she's not too exhausted. The elderly lady section, no, the long time experienced devotee lady section of Kumkum Devi Rasi and Sri Lanka, they were very courageous in everything they did. Their young hearts wanted to participate in all the adventurous activities of the Vaishnavas and do everything. But their very experienced devotional bodies, means their long years of devotion, maybe couldn't quite keep up with the younger ones, but they weren't ready to admit defeat quickly. They said, okay, we shall try. So we hope we didn't wear them out too much. But they were a wonderful example for everybody, and shared so many things from their really rich life of devotional service. Who has come from the time of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and still going steadily, year by year, decade by decade. We must consider that there is some substance there for us to hear from, that they may share with us if we approach in the right way. We can't just say, tell us about Krishna. We want to be Krishna conscious. We do need to, as we've been taught, we need to, approach with humility, ask relevant questions, and they're all senior. They can give us something of life experience in devotional life. And as Gurudev said, that we must keep on going. And as Guru Maharaj said, that just to keep on going, to maintain, then that is not a small matter. And actually, when we look back over our lives and what we've seen over the years, we can say it is not a small matter to keep on going. Of course, Guru Maharaj says it, but we also see it too. So as much as we can, we must always give each other encouragement to keep on going. And we did get a chance to talk with the brahmacharis as well as the leaders. And my theme to them was to keep on going too. And they were bright and young. We wish them well. The world, their life is in front of them. And really wish them well. Hare Krishna. And in your reading of the Chaitanya Caritamrta there in Govinda Farm Ashram, then soon you'll be coming to those one-line questions and one-line answers, that after the whole Ramananda-saṁvād, step by step, comes the short questions and short answers, the questions put by Mahaprabhu, and the answers given by Ramananda Roy. But given by Ramananda Roy, as we heard just now, Mahaprabhu, essentially Ramananda Roy is saying, Mahaprabhu, you are making me speak. I am just like a puppet, and you are the puppeteer. As I am, as you wish me to speak, I am speaking. But this way, these one-line questions, one-line answers, more or less, that section is coming up very soon, towards the end of the chapter that you're reading. And there, one of the questions was, Mahaprabhu saying, what is the most painful thing? And Ramananda Roy saying, replying, I can think of nothing more painful than separation from the devotees. So we should try to also have that appreciation for the Vaishnavas and try not to be separated from the devotees, the devotee family, the sincere seekers. Hare Krishna. Any question from anybody? Any contribution from anybody? Seva-rupa. We were remembering Seva-rupa yesterday during our own, not televised. Not everything we do is televised or Facebookized, whatever the word is these days. And we were thinking, we know that there's this shloka somewhere. I don't now remember what it was, but we were actually calling into the ether. Seva-rupa, can you help us find this particular quote? Hare Krishna. O Dana, Kabe Hobe Bolo Se Dinama, which you may or may not know, most of you know, means, oh, when will that day be ours? That we'll see you chanting and dancing with the devotees. All your sufferings, all the difficulties of the world set aside. And really, that is the experience of so many devotees. Many things go on in the world, but when we're surrounded by devotees and we're chanting, dancing, going along, then somehow everything else just falls away. And so don't be shy to meet with the devotees and participate. You may feel, why didn't I do this before? And by the way, we had that experience, seeing that with a devotee here who said, oh, why have I been away so long? I must come back more often. I mean, genuinely saying like that. And we've met here, by the way, with devotees. So we've not met for over 40 years. And we've met, I mean, some of them going on steadily all this time, and some slipped away, and then they're resurfacing. But it's fine. If somebody will resurface, we're not thinking about, any unfortunate times or difficult times they've been through. We're only seeing, yes, eternally a devotee is a devotee. And when we put our life's direction, when we redirect our life, and we're with the family, it's just like we hear about eternally liberated and eternally bound. When we come back to the family, we're eternally in the family, the upper family, the eternal family. So we have a little hint of these things, what we see in the material world. If we understand, we're getting some hints of what takes place in the upper world. But when Krishna welcomed Gopakumar to Vrindavan, he's saying, how could you stay away? How could you stay away so long? I've been waiting for you to come back. And so when we see devotees who've been a little hidden for some time, and they are coming and relishing being in the kirtan, I mean, obviously they don't have to explain, I am happy. You can see they are happy. So we must always try to keep our devotees enthused to keep on going. And for Dana, really, we do all have well wishes for you. You're steady for so many years. And now we love to somehow or another see you or hear of you within a festival, or just within a temple programs surrounded by devotees, and taking prasad with devotees. Walking in the black park forest, which is what we did yesterday with the devotees. Hare Krishna. Walk and talk. We were 14 devotees yesterday doing walk and talk in beautiful nature. And I know in America you may never have heard of it, but the British have heard of Pine something studios, like Hollywood, the British Hollywood, Pinewood studio. And so yesterday we were in the forest behind the Pinewood forest of Pinewood Studios, by the way, where it got its name from. And apparently they're always doing filming in that forest. And we went through maybe 4 different filming sets within beautiful nature's forest. And where they are filming illusion, to spread illusion. They're very expert at making illusion. And how they have the small train with the TV camera close to the train, and then it looks like it's a real train passing by, all these things. I mean, they're expert at making illusion within illusion, but within this beautiful forest. But we got lots of people saying Hare Krishna, and almost everybody smiling. It's just out of London, and so London, lots of people. Where there are lots of people, everyone doesn't like respond and smile. But when they're just a little bit out and a few and less people, basically everyone can't help but look at us as a group, and so many things. And the ladies coming to the ladies saying, "Oh, I like your dress." And the ladies, they're wearing a sari. "Oh, I like your dress." And all sorts of things. Very good interaction with the devotees, but very good interaction with the people. And I don't know who's a movie star and who isn't, but I mean, we see different people out there. And so many trucks and so many things to film illusion. I have to say, if they just want to film nature, I think they can just put a camera and show nature. But if you want to film illusion, even in nature, they're doing all sorts of things to dress people up and do this, that, and the other. Hare Krishna. But we are like that ourselves. We make a lot of difficulties for ourselves just to be in illusion. We are told if we just allow ourselves, we'll be taken through love and affection into the service world of Krishna. With the service world, we're afraid of being a servant. We're afraid of this word. We're afraid of these, being a slave, a servant. Oh no, my goodness. But when all this is in the stream, the current of love, then what can be the difficulty? And when we are coming to serve truth, honesty, our greatest well-wishers, the personalities, the supreme personality of Godhead, and his supreme agents. And actually, when Paramananda Prabhu was talking a little bit before and saying about the nature of Lalita in the spiritual world, how she's right there, the closest associate of Srimati Radharani, and she gets so much joy by bringing devotees to serve, bringing them to engage in service. And then I really had to think of Srila Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, how his nature was very much like that bringing people, bringing everyone to the service of Guru Maharaj. Bring much joy he's getting. And Gurudev, about distributing prasadam, giving how he says somebody may cook and distribute prasad, they get more joy than if they are taking prasadam themselves, like this. And Gurudev gets more joy in everything. So, every activity is more joyful than the other activity, because definitely Gurudev is a very happy enjoyer of the varieties of prasadam and understanding so much about how it's cooked and how they put the chaunts in later and not at the beginning. And I mean, things that I'd never been able to tell by just tasting the preparations. But Gurudev, very expert at honoring prasadam, but very expert at distributing and sharing. But sharing spiritual life, sharing prasadam, sharing, giving opportunity, sharing association, giving the opportunity of association, etc. Then Gurudev, we are reminded of Lalita and hearing of Lalita recruiting the devotees for the service of Krishna, for the service of Radharani who's serving Krishna also. Then to hear of Lalita's nature reminds us of Srila Gurudev, and hearing of Gurudev's nature reminds us of Lalita in this respect. And this is our good fortune, because they, both Lalita and Srila Gurudev, they're looking for servitors. They want servitors to come. And so they're looking, seeing, oh, I can engage this person and this person. Hare Krishna. So we want to be looked for. We want to put up a hand. I'm available. Any chance? No.
I think Bimal Krishna just did the same. He put his hand saying, I'm available.
Oh, did he? Okay, you can. I'm on the phone. I have to. I am actually, while we're talking, I am also scrolling up and down. But I don't, on the phone, I don't get the full picture. So yes, if I'm missing something, please do fill me in on what I'm missing. Hare Krishna. Oh yes, just as I'm about to say, Bimal Krishna opened his microphone, and I was just about to invite you, Bimal Krishna. We'd love to hear a few words from your lively devotional self.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat all the devotees. I have like 20 thoughts, and so I'm gonna try to like put them all together. So forgive me if none of it makes sense. It's just everything that comes to me as I'm listening. But the first thing I'd like to say is that I'm not of the caliber of all the people you mentioned before, but I consider myself, I am from Salt Lake City. I'm a Utah boy, native, and I came from Salt Lake City, so I'm very proud to come from there as well. So I live in California now, but I'm from Salt Lake City, always and forever. But so and then also I wanted to mention that Sevarupa Didi, when you were asking about her, you were listening to Gurudev, a talk that Gurudev was speaking, and he had said something in Sanskrit, I believe, and you were asking like, we need Sevarupa. I was listening to your class at lunch today at work, but so there to clear that.
But it was televised or Facebookized then. Okay, I don't always know what's being televised. I have to be careful.
Yes, it was on there. I was thinking too what you're saying about the devotees, their happier giving service. You were talking about Nakul today as well. Saraswati mentioned Nakul Prabhu, and I was thinking about it sitting outside of Gurudev's veranda, like I was security guard. I'd sit out there basically. Gurudev, I'd tell people Gurudev was resting, or like there were no visitors at the time or whatever, but like Nakul, Gurudev has his inner circle of devotees that were very close, and like Saraswati Didi, and like they're doing this service for Gurudev, very personal, and like yourself, Maharaj. And sorry, I do this every time. My new name is I've came up with a new name for myself. It's Ball Baby Mal, Ball Baby, because I'm always crying. I apologize.
Hare Krishna.
It's a play on words. Anyway, it just made me think, because I always kind of wanted that service in a sense, but like I knew I wasn't qualified to serve Gurudev to that capacity, but yet Gurudev still allowed me to be very close. Like I was outside of Gurudev's door, so I was always right there. So like that was merciful. Like Gurudev was so merciful, but those devotees that were allowed in there, they are distributing that from Gurudev. Like Nakul bring me out Gurudev's Mahaprasadam, and I just remember that same feeling. Like I would see a devotee come, and I would be so excited to share that. Not saying anything about myself, but like that's a real thing, that to share those things and to see the joy in the other devotees. To receive Gurudev's Mahaprasadam I felt is very special too, but to be able to share that. So that's another thing I was thinking about on what you're saying, because those devotees, they're very close, but yet they're still giving so much mercy. It's almost like you're receiving more, because like I'm not, I commit a lot of offenses, and I haven't, but it's like I'm not so close to that, so it's a little safer, But so there's another thought. But also I just wanted to say that where the Ramananda-saṁvād took place, I also went there in South India, probably a year before I came to the feet of Gurudev, because we were also kind of on pilgrimage, following the footsteps, Mahaprabhu's, the footprints, and going to the different places there. But at the time, the significance, like I didn't understand the significance of the place. And like later on, hearing that Srila Guru Maharaj like established that place, I believe that had more significance to me, because I don't think I heard it in the same sense as like hearing it from Guru Maharaj in his books, and you know, getting like that more of an understanding. But it just shows that these holy places, they're not like, you can go there, but you're not going to really see anything, or you're not going to understand. Like that's why the Vaishnava is so important, especially in these places, because otherwise it's some place, you know. I don't have the vision to really see what it is. But these are just some thoughts I've had, and thank you for letting me speak. And I don't know if Ishadevika wants to say anything, but my dandavats to you all. And
dandavats to all of the dear devotees. I'm just grateful to be here in your association, and don't have anything to share.
Jai Gurudev.
Happily, and you each have good association of each other too. By the way, when Bhima Krishna says that he was the guard at the door, yes, it's true, he's a strong, big-bodied man, but a guard at Gurudev's door is quite different than being like a guard at a bank or something like that, you know, a security guard at the bank. It's a case of just letting the devotees know when is a suitable time, and like coordinating, okay, now Gurudev is feeling okay, now come in. So that it's not as, I mean, a guard in that sense, but an affectionate coordinator of the devotees, so that they can come and have darshan of Gurudev, but at the right time. And anybody knows that, you know, if you're not feeling well, and there's always people knocking on the door and coming and asking you this and asking you that, it's not even polite. But at the right time, then when, you know, feeling a little bit strong, etc., and then the grandfather or the father is saying, okay, I can see my family members now. You know, this way of coordinating things. So please don't think that to see Gurudev, there was a great battalion of soldiers with AK-47s or something. It was not quite like that. In fact, it was the opposite. It was affection to Gurudev and to the devotees, so that they can come together harmoniously. And Srila Guru, this, by the way, not necessarily with a guard at the door. I mean, I'm not sure about the guard part, but anyway, but with Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, he gave us the coordination of when is appropriate to see Guru Maharaj, and to go at times which is not appropriate, which is like taxing to Guru Maharaj, is actually disservice. And we don't want to do disservice. We don't want to disturb the great souls. We want to do the opposite. And so it is a service to help the devotees to go at the appropriate time to see the masters, of course, the divine masters, but in all circumstances, is an appropriate time and an inappropriate time. And, you know, especially when the external health is a little bit poor, then at those times, even more necessary to be careful. And so actually, it's saving devotees. Devotees may think, oh, I can't go in now. I'm being, no, I've come all this way. But if we go to Gurudev at the wrong time, Gurudev is disturbed, then we are the cause of his disturbance. And so everything, you know, it looks maybe the same as a guard, but it is not the same. And Bhima Krishna knows it too. He was very sweet. You can see by his nature, maybe big-bodied, but very sweet nature. He was very sweet in that service. We know, we were there. We had to get through him to get to Gurudev for some time. And there was a team of devotees. And each had a different way of responding to those who came at the wrong time, but all was with affection. All was with affection. Hare Krishna. So today we're in West London, and the festival has simply been going on, and we're in West London, and the festival has been continuing. Devotees, oh yes, but part of the festival is devotees going to their countries, and so day by day, as we mentioned, Sri Lanka returned to Salt Lake City, Kumkum Devidas is returned somewhere, not too far from Bhima Krishna and Devika, somewhere there in southern Oregon, I think, northern California, southern Oregon, that region. And Tungarasa went back to Norway. This is just yesterday. And from Estonia, Juvati went, here's Tungarasa, there we are. Back at home in Norway. Yes, okay. And
Not
Juvati,
yet.
yes, okay.
On the way.
Oh, you're on the way.
Yeah. At the airport. Waiting for the train.
Oh, from the airport, waiting for, okay, yeah. So it's this rasa, this mood of, at the end of a festival where devotees are returning to their homes. So it's all analyzed in Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu about different moods of when there's about to be separation, and between the devotees as well as with Krishna. And when there is separation, when there's about to be, again, we're going to have association, and then the association comes. Lots of things are described there. And every mood, every feeling, all these things, all feeling, and this is called rasa, every kind of mood, feeling that we can have, the origin is all Krishna. So he's the original ocean, he's the ocean of rasa. And so we are coming to serve Krishna, and we've got these slokas which say every atom of my body, in this highest sense, every atom of my spiritual body, of our consciousness, everything resonate and be fully fulfilled in reciprocation with every atom coming from Lord Krishna himself. So every rasa, we may think, oh, we're doing something new. We're going to go skydiving, or going to go deep sea diving, or do something crazy in the modern world. But everything is all within the embodiment, within Krishna himself, the origin of everything. So the festivals kind of going on, but in the stage where devotees are going to their different homes, etc. And we're also in that situation. We'll be going later today, but after a full day here, we're heading to the southern hemisphere, going down to winter in Brazil. But it's not like, well, if we go further south, we could go to deep winter with the penguins, couldn't we? Where it'll be night for 4 months of the year, something like that. But this is planet Earth. Planet Earth has some variety, but some variety. And again, it's a hint of what is there in planet Goloka Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. All right. So, dear devotees, for today, I think let us continue. And we'll meet again from the Southern Hemisphere. We'll meet again from Brazil in a few days' time. And we'll talk about Krishna and Mahaprabhu and Nityananda and Gurus and the devotees. Holy name, prasadam, festivals. These kind of subject matters. Chaitanya Caritamrta. Hare Krishna. Blessed journey. Thank you, Gangalila Devidasi. Oh, I see also in the chat box, somebody, Paramananda Prabhu has put, Paramananda Prabhu, please read for us in your best Sanskrit and the translation of what you've given here, Prabhu, kindly.
Maharaj, this verse, I just remember it. Yam kamati vrajikale vrishabhana jaya prishtasa bhakshisa anurudhimanam Sajastadishya Gatanena Kritartayantim Divim Gunayar Sulalitam Lalitam Naman. So that's the verse from Lalita Ashtakam of Srila Rupa Goswami, glorifying Lalita Sakhi's favorite, one of his favorite engagements, besides serving the divine couple, recruiting sincere souls for the service. And just one thing I wanted to mention, since we're talking about Kavur and Ramananda-saṁvād, Srila Guru Maharaj pointed out himself, and that was very interesting to note. He said that in one of his conversations, it is recorded that Srila Bon Maharaj, they were together. He witnessed a talk by Srila Guru Maharaj in Rajmundi. And Rajmundi is the city on the opposite bank. So one side is Kavur, another side is Rajmundi. And it's a bigger center, always being like that. So Guru Maharaj went there for preaching purposes. So there was a Pandal program organized. And he delivered a talk. And when Bon Maharaj returned to Srila Saraswati Thakur, he reported that this was perhaps the best devotional talk he ever heard. And that was Srila Guru Maharaj. We can say in his early days. So, the one who descended from that world, it doesn't matter what age he is. He's got that wealth. So he can deliver it any time of his life, actually. So just important to notice. So in that way, that Rajmundi place is also a tirtha related to Srila Guru Maharaj's glories and his preaching.
Jai. And a beautiful reminder. Devotees are always continually asking to go to India, and we're always like stressing that really our devotional life is not reliant upon India as such, but on the mood. But still we have to say that the holy places, in the company of the devotees, to visit these places, it is inspirational, it is nourishing, and it is also one of the practices to visit the holy places, at the Lord's pastimes, etc., in the company of loving devotees, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur points out in Sharanagati, in Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu, this song. So certainly I too have very kind of special remembrance of Kavur, but in this relationship, we know it's very special, but we've been introduced and been hearing about the Ramananda-saṁvād, reading Ramananda-saṁvād very cautiously, by the way, very like respectfully, just reading and continuing through, but hearing about this from Srila Guru Maharaj, from Srila Gurudev, and then having that chance to be in a place and to be very much like focused on these things for a while. It is nourishing. And so I'm very happy to also be reminded from each of you about Kavur, the Godavari River, the surprisingly clean water when we were there. It was light blue, like clear, but that has a blue hint in the water when we were there. And I'm not somebody who remembers like every meal we ever had, but I do remember 2 special meals in Kavur. So Hare Krishna, for another day. All right. So dear devotees, on this day, we're going to leave you to continue your days wherever you are. Some of you are well into your days, some of you not so far into the day. Leela Moy Prabhu. I am the witness. And so we'll meet you again from Brazil. And in the meantime, please, everyone, continue happily, as we said at the early time. To continue, that itself is definitely of value, not to be underestimated, to keep on going. All right. And we've been remembering you, Dana, so I hope all the Vaishnavas' remembrance is going to do some magic and give you an opportunity sooner rather than later for association.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And to each of you, all good wishes, and I'm sure from each other, as when we come together, we are sharing good wishes, and all glories to Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rock Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and the whole Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga. Ki Jai. And all glories to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. Ki Jai. And all glories to the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Vrinda, those who are distributing the grace, the connection of Mahaprabhu through Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur as it has come. So this tree of the Gauriya Vaishnavism, the Vaishnavism, worship of the Supreme Lord in the line of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. All glories indeed to that, the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Gauriya Acharya section. Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Srila Bhakti Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
And Rajanath Prabhu is with us. He was with us from Sweden on our Montevecchio pilgrimage in Italy recently, and he's sending his drives. Prabhu, good to have you with us. I hope all is well there in Sweden. Hare Krishna. All right, dear ones, we have to go at some point, so I'm going to press the button. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Hare Hare Bo. With appreciation and all good things. Hare Krishna.